you which types of designs are trending and so on, and what might be hot, what might be not, and then you have to find a niche just like everybody else. And it could be dachshunds, because we have dachshunds and we like that, or space. I used to work for the aerospace business, so we did some designs centered around the space business, the anniversaries of various space events like the moon landing and so on and so forth. Um, and then you come up with a design, and then you work with these there are companies that actually do the printing, so you have no stock, right? It's literally print on demand. Someone buys it, and it's not until they buy it does it get printed at the printer, right? So you never have to deal with any inventory. And then
I just
and it
ordered
gets
like a customizable mouse pad, right? Like, is that
you could
considered
do
print?
that. Yeah, you could print anything, right? Nowadays they have so many kinds of things you could print on, like tumblers,
Hmm.
mouse pads, like you said. You could do wall art, right? That could be print on demand. Yeah, it's come quite a long way. Yeah, there's a lot. Tennis shoes. I've seen tennis shoes you could print on or
What
come up with
about
designs.
what about decals on cars?
Yeah, you could do those kinds of things, stickers, decals, all kinds of things.
You
Yeah,
just
so
have to find somebody to put it on for you.
that too, depending how big it is. Yeah, exactly. So no, that's something I always plan on revisiting. It's what I like it. People buy it. It seems it's a lot smaller ticket item. So yeah, another thing that tripped me up was the Facebook's ads. Right, part of what we were doing back in the day was print on demand with Facebook ads, just to let people know about the designs. And it seems like I just kept on dumping money into a black hole. It just seems like the Facebook ads, and you can never figure out the algorithm, and so on. Although I hear recently that they've changed their algorithms to be less, because there's a lot, back in the day, there was a lot of variables that you could set to try and to choose your demographic and get your audience. Now it's supposed to be more automated. Maybe it's more AI based. I don't know. But that means you have even less control now, and you're more at the mercy of their algorithms. So I might circle back to it, but that's not priority number one. Priority number one is getting the infrastructure in place, and probably leading with the legacy builders.
I see. I see. Very good.
Tim, you've been using legacy builders for a while. How's that working for you? Are you relatively, how long have you been doing it?
Today is exactly 1 year anniversary, actually.
Woo! All right, happy anniversary.
And, 5 days ago, we just hit six figures, so we're doing pretty
Oh
well. Yeah.
man, I could only dream of that. Nice, excellent. So it sounds like, yeah, just
But this is
follow the
only the
plan.
beginning. Yeah, this is only the beginning. It's
Mm,
like your first year is your learning year, right?
mm,
Your second year would be more of getting more in depth, right?
mm. Taking it
Um,
to the next level kind of stuff. Yeah.
you're still building the foundation, right? And then your
Hmm.
growing year usually for most people is on the third year. From the third
Oh
year to the
wow.
fifth year is when you start growing. Like
No kidding. Wow.
mentally, not just the income, but mentally, the business, infrastructure. Um,
Well,
but
that's a long game.
well, nobody said that legacy was a sprint.
No, true,
Legacy is
true,
a
right.
marathon, right? It's a
Sometimes it
marathon.
feels like it in the beginning because you're sprinting to get your LinkedIn done. You're sprinting to learn the
Yeah.
stuff. You're trying to get to a launch and so
Let,
on. So,
let me correct you there. You're only sprinting and feel like you have to
eh,
get everything set up when you're the one trying to do everything. You see,
yeah.
I never try to do everything. I just pay, let people do it, but I
Mm,
focus on the skill.
mm,
See, the one thing that is more important is the skill rather than the tool. You
mm-hmm,
see, you can have the tool, but when you don't have the skill, what good is the tool?
mm-hmm.
It's no good. It's like having a pretty website with no traffic going to it, as an
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And the other thing too is when you learn the skill, Nobody can take that skill away from you. It's yours.
True. And
No
when you
matter
say the
where you go.
skill, you're talking about the legacy builder program process. Is that the skill? What specific skill you talking about?
You need to discover why legacy works.
Mm,
In other words, you need to understand the framework.
hmm
Okay. That's number one. Number two, you need to understand each components of that framework. It's like this. If I want to go buy a car, I need to have some decency of the understanding of the chassis of the car, right?
hmm
Once I understand the chassis of the car, I need to understand what's considered bad maintenance and good maintenance, right? A lot of people, it's not just putting the key in and put some gas and some oil and we're good to go.
Yeah.
This business is the same. You just need to figure out what's the oil part, what's the fuel part, what's the engine part, and then what are the bells and whistles, right?
Mm,
Once you figure that out, okay, things starts making more sense.
got it. You're
So
right.
when
Because
you do things,
sometimes, yeah,
you do things with purpose rather than
yeah,
just. I'm okay with the quantity part, but I'm better with quantity with quality. Does
uh-huh,
that make sense? To
Mm-hmm.
me,
yeah,
that's always been my motto. That's always been my motto, right? So when you
yeah.
start understanding these things and you create your content, you start creating your content with purpose instead of just creating content for the sake of creating content.
Right. Instead of just going through the motions. And sometimes I feel like that's what I'm doing. Just not necessarily going through the motions, but I'm going through the steps, but don't exactly know what, where I'm going sometimes. I feel lost sometimes. You're right. And I guess that's all part of, it being new, but
I
you're
don't
right.
know. Yeah, I don't know if you know who Daryl is. You know who Daryl?
No.
No? Okay.
He's
So Daryl
one of the
was
100K earners.
so
Oh,
he
wow.
was
Okay.
in my first breakout room. Have you been one of the breakout rooms from Legacy?
No.
Well, you got a lot to learn.
Usually when they say breakout room, I'm going, oh, I get nervous and I drop off the call.
Oh,
No, you're missing the most valuable piece of the entire
yeah,
Monday, which used to be
Okay.
Tuesday. Okay?
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Let me
Mondays.
tell
You're
you.
right.
Let me tell you. If you don't, this is what I tell our guys in our community, okay? You don't go to the breakout room, just throw the towel in, go get a W-2 job and go apply for a job because you just missed the whole boat.
That's
Gotcha.
right.
The
Yeah, I
breakout
get it.
room, Rich, is where the breakthrough happens, okay?
Ah, okay. Maybe
So,
that's
in
why I'm
other
so
words,
scared of it.
well,
Mm.
no, it. There's no preparation on the breakout room.
Uh-huh.
You get the person as is. Like you buy the car as is, you get it as is.
hmm
There's no preparation. There's no time to fake it till you make it. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I find that the Legacy Builders program with the breakout rooms on Mondays is absolutely fabulous because not everybody knows everything, right? You get a lot of newbies in there that have never been on a breakout room, and then you get the 100K earners that accidentally end up in your breakout room. So that's what happened today. Dan Bellin ended up in our breakout room this morning, and he's a 100K earner. And
Wow.
we learned so much from these experts that are in there. And it's an opportunity to ask them some questions and bounce some ideas off them.
Okay. You've convinced me. I will be in that breakout room come next Monday.
Yeah, that's
My,
great.
my first
I will
breakout
not be
room,
intimidated by it.
my first breakout room, Rich, Daryl said one thing that stuck with me for the last 12 months. Okay.
Ah,
Your first 500 videos is your practice videos.
yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first thing that went through my head is, okay, if I'm doing 3 videos a day, how many days is 500 videos?
Yeah,
That's the
right?
first thing that go to my head, right?
Yep.
Then he said, your second 500, meaning you hit 1,000 videos, right?
Wow.
Your second 500 videos is your transformation phase.
No kidding.
And that
Wow.
resonated with me. I just recently passed 1,200 videos on both my TikTok channel and my YouTube channel. You see?
Wow.
So what I also studied and learned from these six-figure income earners is nobody reaches six figures without doing between 2 to 3 thousand videos.
Shoot.
But
Oh,
that's without branding.
Yeah.
You understand? That's
Yeah.
without any kind of branding. This is just straight up quantity. Quantity.
so
Okay?
what are the numbers with branding?
I barely hit 1,200 and I'm able to hit six figures. So the
Mm.
difference is almost half of the amount of videos.
Wow.
Because what happens is branding creates the like, know, and trust quicker,
Mm.
especially when it's consistent across. So if they go see you on LinkedIn, what does your brand look like? What does your message look like? If they go see you on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, is your message consistent? Or are you appearing like a chameleon? A chameleon meaning multiple personalities.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
And then on the
So,
videos, with so many videos, yeah, it sounds, I guess I'm, I don't know, where do you come up with the content? It seems like is it repetitive at a certain point, or, uh,
so let me ask you this. I'm assuming you have children, right?
yeah,
Okay. When's the last time you told your children one time and they go do what you ask them to do?
that's true. Yeah. And that's not usually how it works.
So, what do you think your perfect customer? You're gonna tell it one time and they're gonna buy, or you're gonna have to tell that thing over and over and over and over before they buy?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
No, it's fun. It's funny. Michelle was talking about one of these courses, webinars she was in. That's like the seventh emails where she get, that a lot of people buy
But that's
in.
that's normal. That's
Oh, I
normal.
know. I was going to say that's exactly around the same time I bought it. It took me about that many emails, and it's going, whoa, that I was very shocked because that's literally what it took me. And I had a lot of emails come in. I think I sat through a number of webinars and stuff like that, but it took about that many before I actually committed, which is yeah,
But if you take
it's
it from
interesting.
the sales standpoint, right? From the sales, right? And you can Google this up anywhere online. Okay. Most people give up after the second call.
Hmm.
Where does most of the sales happen? On the 7, 8 to 12 call,
Wow.
which means that between number 2 and number 7 is where a lot of people are falling off and
Yeah,
haven't done,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yep.
What do you think? Should the email be any different?
Hmm.
No. But you know what? Here's what I found out. You can increase those odds through SMS.
Hmm.
See,
Okay.
in our group, I teach our guys it's not free to do SMS. You're going to pay a little bit of money, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
But those reduces from 7 to 8 time to the third or fourth contact.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I've heard
So
those
what does
numbers
that do?
before.
It reduces because there's less wait time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? A person will check a text before they will check an email,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing with WhatsApp. They will check. Believe it or not, WhatsApp is becoming one of the most popular way of communication.
Wow.
But the problem is that WhatsApp is a number one human trafficking communication.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Oh,
Number
wow.
one. Number one is WhatsApp, and the other one is not yeah, Viber. Viber. Those are the two most. The two most. And this stats come from the government. The DEA, the FBI, all those people where they go track down all those guys that do human. That's where that stats coming from.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, but it's not free. I tell our guys it's not free. You're gonna spend some money.
Mhm.
But to me, instead of getting 1,000 emails going to my funnel, I'd rather get 50 phone numbers or 100 phone numbers. Let's just say that I can get in touch with 75% of those phone numbers and actually have somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a good chance of converting. Because what is the number one way to convert? Eyeball to eyeball.
Mm.
If you got somebody eyeball to eyeball, you're gonna get a yeah or no,
Hmm.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's a yeah or no, right? So
Yep. Yep.
that's what increases because it comes down to this. I'm okay with quantity, but what if you could do quantity and quality at the same time?
Yeah. No, good point. No, and I believe the same thing also, especially with all this AI. I think like the school and these webinars and so on and so forth are very important. And the one-on-one calls for that matter, for that reason, right? People, I think more and more are going to desire that connection as we
Mhm.
get more and more AI heavy or the internet does. That one-on-one connection is going to be the differentiator, especially in the next 5 years or maybe less.
Right.
But don't
Um,
misunderstand this, Rich. When I say quality, that doesn't mean it has to be perfect. No.
mm-hmm,
Quality means it has your non-negotiable present every time.
mm-hmm,
For instance, you do your video. Does it have a hook? Does it have an introduction? Does it have a pain point? Does it have solution and a CTA? Does it have those 5 items every time you create a video, or you just whoop out the video just to whoop out the video? Does that make sense?
yes, it does. Yeah, yeah.
And depending on what platform you're on. So if you're on TikTok, how are you choosing your titles? Are your titles jiving with your hooks? Are your hashtag jiving with your title and your hooks? Because
Mm,
that's what categorizes you. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm,
You go to YouTube, does your description, does your keywords, do all those jive with your title and your hook and your thumbnails? Because YouTube is all about your thumbnails and your titles. That's
mm-hmm.
first and foremost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But most people don't talk about the other little stuff that may not be the main thing, but it supports. In other
Mm-hmm.
words, if I'm to choose between you and Christine on who I'm gonna buy from, and you got like the same hook, the same title, the same thumbnail, but your description is different, her description is different, and I can resonate more with the keywords that she has than you have, then guess who I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna buy from?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, the one you resonate with. Yes, yes.
Because it comes down to two things. Okay. What are you saying? When they read, can they feel what you're saying? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, can they find you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they're spending a lot of time trying to find you, then you know you're not getting no traction.
Right, right.
And the best way to audit yourself as far as somebody can find you, once a week, you should type your full name online
Mm.
and
Mm.
Google it. And if you don't like what you see, then obviously you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So here's a couple things you need to know when you Google your name. On the very first page, it should be all about you, at least 80% of the clickable links. If it's not
Mm.
80%, that means you do not have enough engagement online. Period. The second place to look is in images. If your images, your first milestone should be the first row. Your first row in images should be all you. For someone who has a little bit more presence, it should be the top two row. But when do you know that you have a good SEO? Or there's something called GEO now. GEO
Mm.
is the main thing that people are looking for online now. It's no longer SEO. Okay. You can chat GPT it, just say GEO optimization, and it'll tell you what it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The whole page. If that whole page of image is all you, then there's a good chance you're making a six figure or higher, regardless. Even if you're the total screw up.
Yeah.
That's
How do you,
interesting.
yeah, when a lot of times when I'm going through the chat GPTs and going through these various programs and setup, to help set up my LinkedIn or help set up my school or whatever, I ask for it to be enticing, SEO friendly, blah, blah, blah. How do I, well, I guess the only way I would really know is
It,
if I
it, it,
Google
it comes
myself.
down it comes down to using the right prompts. That's all it comes
Mm,
down to. If you're
mm,
not using the right prompt, so So here's what I learned from a gentleman named Mike. If you don't know who he is, that's Michelle's boyfriend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders of tomorrow are not the people who are using AI. The leaders of tomorrow are the people who understand how to communicate with AI.
Mm,
Using it is one thing, learning how to communicate with it is another thing. And the best way to describe that, right? I think Christine is going to appreciate this. It's called the five languages of love. You know
Yes,
that
yes.
ChatGPT has their own five languages of love.
Hmm.
So if ChatGPT don't like you, guess what? It's gonna give you a hard time.
oh,
But that comes down to how well do you program your ChatGPT?
mm,
Because your ChatGPT is only what you put in.
mm-hmm,
Garbage in, garbage out, right? So the more goods you put in, the more it knows about you, right?
mm-hmm,
The better it can help you. The problem is that people don't put enough data.
mm,
They don't. They expect to put 5 lines and expect you to say, "Oh, ChatGPT, work a miracle."
mm-hmm,
Doesn't work
mm-hmm.
that way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That
I guess
sounds
the part
funny.
part of the problem there is ChatGPT just spews out information. They think it's a miracle, but you're right. It could be just generic information that's not necessarily the best or as good as it could be.
I got a
That's right.
question for you, Kim.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, I have been trying to brand myself as the marketing mentress for
Right.
over 14 years, right? So I just typed in marketing mentress, and what came up was marketing mentress meaning, marketing mentress definition, marketing mentress company, marketing mentress group, and marketing mentress examples.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to see how I can get where you go to get see if it's on the 80%. Okay, I've
Eighty
got,
percent of what?
well, you said
That
80%,
that doesn't come from just the branding, Christine.
80,
So what you got to understand the definition of branding. Branding is not just a logo and colors. Okay. Now I'm sure you already noticed, but colors has a different meaning. There's a whole color chart, right? And it tells you what color signifies each color signifies, right?
mm-hmm.
So number one is you got to identify your perfect customer. You got to know who that customer is. Once you know who that customer is, you gotta describe your pain points, your positive and negative of that whole customer, and then ask ChatGPT for the suggestion of color and brand. Okay. Then
Mm.
once you got your color and brand and you got your message, it's a lot deeper than this. Okay. Your videos need to reflect that brand. When you got the combination of all of that, it's going to determine how you show up online when someone Google you.
Well, in the
So that,
second
that doesn't
message,
happen overnight.
okay, in the second message, marketing mentress is it's up on Yelp, and I haven't put this up there. I have no idea how it got there. And it's got my phone number there. It's got the days I'm open for
Are you
business.
familiar? Are you familiar with public records?
Yeah,
That's exactly what social media is. It could be a form you filled out. It
yeah,
could be an application you filled out. All that stuff that's online, this is what kills me. You got these people that go out there, I'm going to go get a proton mail. I'm going to go get this and that and the other. The minute you turn on your computer, your privacy went.
yeah,
The minute you connect it to the internet, there is no privacy. Everything you do is public record, even if you use a VPN.
yeah,
The only thing the VPN says is they can't track where you came in from. Does that make sense? In other words, they can't track that IP address that you logged on. That's fine. But your information is still public records.
this is really interesting. So now it's come up with marketing mentress and Christine Till.
That means you filled out enough forms and application online.
And what was that second thing that got you more, I guess, got you, that you found yourself? Because I just tried to look up myself and yeah.
GEO optimization.
Oh, okay.
Type that in ChatGPT and it'll break it down. Say, what is GEO optimization?
And basically how do you improve it? And it's the next step.
Just have a good, nice conversation with Chat and don't piss him off. That's all.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, here's another question for you. I guess this is part of the problem I have too, right? Is I don't use ChatGPT too often. I use Manus and Claude and a couple Perplexity, a couple of other ones, and I find that that is actually part of the problem because I'm bouncing around to LLMs and so on.
So
And
what you're doing is no different than you sending a different message on Facebook, YouTube,
yep,
Instagram,
yep,
and TikTok. That's all you're
mm-hmm,
doing. You're just doing it in the tech world. You're doing it in the tech world. So you're using all these. I only use ChatGPT because I want to make sure
yeah,
my message is clear. I want to make sure my
yes,
identity is clear. There's
yeah,
no
yeah, no.
confusion.
Right, right. You're right. And then you're not spread around because the way I'm doing it now, each one of these is getting a little piece of the puzzle, but not the whole puzzle to help me out, right? So I could see I need to focus with one tool so it's more coherent, I guess, in what I'm doing, right? At least if at least
Here's
for the
what you will
legacy
find out.
builders.
ChatGPT, number one, has been around the longest. Number two, it is the most integratable to any platform that's out there
Mm,
Yeah.
because of the simplicity of itself.
mm,
Okay? Now, how do we know this, right? How do we know that that is so true, right? ChatGPT is the only one that does not have an affiliate. Do you think they need one?
no,
No.
because everybody kind of knows about them, right? Yeah,
They know that you're coming to them regardless. They don't need to split profit to get more market. They don't need to do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They're the only ones that don't have an affiliate.
Interesting,
Only one. Because they don't need one.
right? Because everybody knows about them, kind of like a Google, right?
That's right. I gotta run. I got another
Awesome.
call to go to, but it's really a pleasure meeting you, Reach, and
Yeah,
always
thanks, Kim.
Christine.
Yeah, I really
I've seen you
enjoyed
around the
the
meetings.
information.
Pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Christine, for all you do. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Bye, Rachel. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.